Howdy folks, thank you for coming back. I'm Ted Whidden with Solomon Series. I got Maria actually in the studio with me because she asked a question earlier about the Nebuchadnezzar, Tiglath-Pileser. Here's a difficulty that I see in the way conventional theology works, biblical archaeology, and it actually reveals some of the errors that they have created and instilled, and they created doctrine, dogma, and entrenchment. Much of it depends on the history of the Jewish people. By and large, the first known written history, the only in the ancient world, was the writings of Josephus in the year 100 AD. From what we've been told, 70 years after the fall of Jerusalem, the fall of the temple in modern Jerusalem, Josephus, who became a Roman turncoat, sat in Rome 30 years after the fall of Jerusalem in Israel or Palestine, and he wrote a history of the Jewish people. He wrote a history of the Jewish people in order to appease his new Roman counterparts. His history, written outside of his natural knowledge, and there was no modern media, whatever he saw with his own eyes, you may be able to believe. Anything outside of his eyesight or outside of his lifetime would have to be known as hearsay. That's what it really is. The problem, the difficulty with biblical historical studies, biblical archaeology, virtually everyone in the world starts at the fall of the temple in Jerusalem in 70 AD and works backwards. They work backwards from 70 AD to the time of Jesus, and they look around for Jesus, and then to 0, and then back to 7 BC, the time of Herod, and then they work backwards. The problem with working backwards in that fashion, as we're studying Nebuchadnezzar and things of that nature, the first, we know that during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, the Bible, Daniel, the exilic period of the Jewish people, that Nebuchadnezzar, the Bible tells us, Nebuchadnezzar was king of Babylon. Tiglath-Pileser was the king of Assyria. If we start in 70 AD and work backwards, the first time we find a strange name like Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, coexisting with Tiglath-Pileser of Assyria, we assume connection. This is the connection by which we can now build our study historically, and we drive a stake in the ground and say, that is the Nebuchadnezzar. That is the Tiglath-Pileser. And we accept it as fact, possibly earlier than we had enough information to test it fully. So now we have 70 AD, and then we have a period in around Nebuchadnezzar. What we have now done, rather than anchoring ourselves in the Bible, we have anchored ourselves in pagan history. And our entire history of the Bible, as we know it today, every timeline known to man today, has been based on basically 2 hard points there and worked out. What they don't tell us is if those early historians had kept working 600 years further back in history from the first instance working backwards of a common Nebuchadnezzar and Tiglath-Pileser, they would have found another common coexistence of a man named Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon and Tiglath-Pileser in Assyria. And the Nebuchadnezzar, one of the earlier, actually fits much of the profile of Daniel in many ways, from education to the golden idol and to the Aramaic form of the language. There's 3 points that would lead us to look at that area closer. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying look at it closer and think of the realm of possibility. That alone would throw your biblical timeline off by 600 years. There's a number of other things that we haven't explored because since we have multiple Nebuchadnezzars, multiple Tiglath-Pilesers, we probably need to explore each one a little bit closer and look to see if some of this would make a little bit more sense in a different form and format. As a matter of fact, Daniel, half of the book of Daniel fits one Nebuchadnezzar, apparently, and half fits the other. There's also a number of questions about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the events and the technologies of mentioned as far as heating up the furnace. What period of time did that occur in? Did that occur in 1200 BC, 1100 BC, 1000 BC, 600 BC? What time frame? And there's questions of technology. There's actually a chance that a scribe, in recording the text, has brought two aspects of history together, confusing the masses because they've never explored the possibility. There's a number of reasons why I say that. And some of it's just to shake you up, stir you up, and make you go know why you know, or why you believe what you believe. Check it out. It's actually kind of an amazing study, and it actually opens the door for me to share with you how, when, and where to find Solomon's Temple, timeline, understand the technology, and understand why we found some things we have found and why we haven't found some things we should find, and we help to find them. Go to SolomonSeries.com, check it out.